What's up?
Black people, what is going on? All right. I'm checking it on my phone.
All right, we're at 10. What do you say when we get to like 25 we'll begin?
Yeah. What is up, Austin?
Hey Patrick, hey Austin, hey Brandon. What's up, Karthik?
We are. Oh, I'm on the speaker.
Yeah, you probably want to do that.
Hi.
So Matt, since we're waiting for people anyways, do you want to jump into a little explanation of empires before we walk through this?
Yeah, that would be awesome. So yeah, Empires. That is our new membership community program that we have kind of silently launched the last week. Just been reaching out to some of the awesome people in this community that we've worked with in the past, and a lot of really talented agency owners and freelancers. And basically, the vision for Empires is, first of all, to recognize that like you can't do this alone. Like you can't build a whole thriving company and business and like lifestyle really and achieve your goals alone. And you need help, and you need accountability, and you need people to support you. And that's one of the kind of fundamental reasons that I wanted to create Empires.
Wait, hold on. Can you guys in the comments just let us know if the sound's working?
Yeah.
Just hit just type in yes or one, just so we know. And if it's not working, we should probably fix that.
Yeah. We should.
I don't see anyone typing anything.
Yeah, let us know. Is the sound good? Can you hear us?
That's me.
Oh. Okay.
I'm taking that as a no.
I think we're good. I don't know.
No one said yes.
Let us know, of course. I'll play again. Hello. Maybe, I don't know. Hello.
All right. Well, it's a good trial run if not. Okay, he can hear Matt. You can't hear me.
They can hear me.
And can you put me on speakers?
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we just have them join the Zoom?
Yeah, we could do that.
Let's do that.
All right. We'll share the Zoom link in the Facebook thread.
Yeah, and then just hit record. Are you recording right now?
Yep.
Perfect. And then we could just copy paste it later.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, so just keep saying it again and again to them. Hey, we're gonna.
All right. Yeah. So, we're gonna jump in a Zoom call. We're gonna send you guys an invite to the Zoom room, baby. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. I'm sharing the Zoom link there. All right. So join us here. Let me add it into the description too, or the post, and then we'll just keep moving.
You want to just type join here for audio?
So join us here. Let me add it into the description too, or the post, and then we'll just keep moving. Okay, I'm getting some feedback. We're figuring out this tech stuff. What's up, guys? We're on a journey together. That's why you need help. You need friends to help you through tech difficulties like these. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're good. Apoorva, are we good on your side? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I got it now.
Okay.
Hey guys.
All right. I think we're good now.
So we've got 6 in here. Should we just begin?
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that works.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So for feedback, just type in the Facebook Live in the comment section. I'm going to ask a couple questions. I have a presentation for you guys, but I don't want to just drone on and on like a college lecture. I want you guys to get involved. I want to answer your questions. I want to help you guys out in any way. So why don't we begin with, this presentation is, how I built my 6- and 7-figure agencies by automating outbound sales, which is through cold email. A little background on me. I grew up in Silicon Valley. In college, one of my mobile apps grew to about 3.5 million users in a couple months. We were an 8-figure company, so we broke the $10 million revenue mark. And that's kind of when I knew, like, okay, the internet is phenomenal for business. What can I do with it? I went on from there to run a 3D printing company. I did venture capital for a bit. And now I'm running an agency and I have... Sorry? So you mind?
No, just as some people are coming in, I have to mute them. Sorry about that.
No worries. So, yes, so now I'm running an agency, Pond Media, getting off the ground while running a virtual reality company for productivity, which is backed by corporate executives and serial entrepreneurs. So the pedigree's there, the track record's there. I just wanted to outline that for you guys, just so you have an idea of who I am, what kind of questions you can ask, how this is relevant to you, et cetera, et cetera. Let's begin with the first 2 instances of how I saw cold email work really well. So SPI was a partnership between me and my business partner, Chris. This guy was phenomenal. He kind of saw the internet become the internet. He was like the gray hairs in the company, the muscle, I guess. And we scaled that company to 6 figures in about 3 months using cold email, just reaching out to people, seeing what they needed help with, et cetera, et cetera. Awesome was another agency that we ran. Within, I think it was 6 months, we had hits. Yeah, we brought $86,000 in contract value in 6 months using cold email, delivering value as much as possible, getting proposals out, delivering more value, and closing these clients, and really building their businesses for them. And so after doing that, I kind of sat down and said, there was one question in my mind that plagued me, like, what keeps some people at freelancers where they're at a desk, they kind of rent out these hot desks, like co-working spaces, or they're just at home and they have all these contractors working for them sometimes, maybe not all the time, but they really want to break in and become an agency, have full-time people, get an office, build something, really change their clients' lives, change their own lives, change their families' lives. What was the difference between the two? And I landed up on one thing. There was only one difference between the two. The people on the left are freelancers. The people on the right are agencies. People on the left are constantly thinking and trying to figure out, okay, how can I get better? How can I change something? How can I change my products? How can I change what I'm doing on a daily basis? Should I get up earlier? Should I change what I'm eating? Should I change if I'm sleeping? They're just thinking, trying to, figure out this puzzle. But the agencies are the people on the right that are just out in the world, right? They're interacting with the people. They're seeing how they can help them. They're getting feedback. And then they don't care about themselves. I don't think they can figure it out themselves. They fall in love with their customers, and they're willing to do anything to make their customers' dreams come true. And that's something that it's a big mindset shift, and it'll happen multiple times where you flip back and forth in your life. But it's really good to be aware of it, because you'll catch yourself on the left side, and then you'll be able to pull yourself to the right side. And that's kind of why me and Matt, put this training together. We wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of this and are able to get out there, like not think, but also, the techniques and tactics to actually get out there. So I'm going to break right here. Matt, how are we doing? Can you hear everything?
Yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah, that was awesome. And I really like that distinction, because that kind of like makes me think of Different Hunger and how I was able to make it a business, from just being like a personal blog. It was like I had to clearly define who it was that I wanted my company and like my business to be for, and like really dive deep into who that was and like how did they think and like what did they struggle with. And for me, it was somewhat easy because those people were where I was like a few months prior, but that's a really interesting like concept of how you like define that, and I totally agree with it.
Yeah, it was really interesting because I saw this pattern appear again and again everywhere I went. Like this is also like, I won't get into it because that's a whole different philosophical thing. But anyways, guys, I'm happy you're here. Thanks for joining. Now we got 14 in the Zoom call, which I never thought would be a possible conversion rate from Facebook Live. So thank you. Let's see who we got in here. We got Patrick, Aaron, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Mario already said hi to Ajay. What's up? Brandon. I can't see the last couple people, but thank you for joining. I appreciate it. If you just joined, we're just getting into it. I just told a couple case studies about how 2 businesses I've built using cold email. I want you guys to become kings, and you got to get the sword out of the stone. And the sword in this metaphor is going to be getting out in the market and getting your proposition, your value, yourself out. And so throughout this training, I want you guys imagining yourself, you're reaching for a sword and you're going to pull it out and you're going to become the king, because you are. You just got to break through. So there's 3 steps that I use to build 6- and 7-figure agencies. These 3 steps are all around cold email, but they're applicable to, a bunch of different things. One is collect. That's your overall, gathering your resources, getting everything ready. 2 is you want to automate that process. As freelancers or agency owners, there's ups and downs. We're creative people. You don't want you to be the bottleneck for your business growth. You want your tech to take care of that for you. And 3 is replying. Replying is insanely hard for a lot of people because we assume outcomes before they happen. Sometimes based on how people look or dress or act, we assume they don't have money, they're not going to pay. But you never know who's going to change your life. You never know who's going to refer who. So that's probably the biggest, most important part of this entire training. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it once we get rid of the other bottlenecks. So first is collect. There's 4 steps to MVP your collection. 1 is getting together your buyer personas, figuring out exactly who you're falling in love with, exactly who you're serving for the next couple years, 5 years, 10 years, is what you're trying to figure out. But it's really important to just decide right now. 2 is titles. Are you going after titles that are too high? Are you going after people that are too busy? Are you going after people that don't even read their own emails? We'll discuss that. 3 is email collection. How do you get these people's emails to reach out to them? And 4 is repurposing your content, so that way you're always delivering value. Okay, so first is buyer personas. How do you niche down? And people always freak out when they're early stage or they haven't built a business before, or maybe they have built a business before, but they forget this. You're not doing buyer personas to say you're going to work with a bunch of people. You're doing buyer personas because it's so much cheaper for you to target less people. And my example for this is, if I want Matt to fly from Medellin to here, to San Francisco, I know how to convince him of that. But if I'm like, well, I want everybody to come to San Francisco, it's a lot harder. If I'm like, well, I want Aaron to come to San Francisco and I want Patrick to come to San Francisco, I got to get inside your heads, figure out who you are, figure out, what exactly makes you tick, and then convince you that way, right? It's really hard. But there's probably a lot of people that are like Matt in the world, just because of law of large numbers. And so if I target Matt and I make a little map of him, and this is a template that I'll give you in the resource at the end of the talk, you'll be able to talk directly to him and everybody like him and convince them to come to quote unquote San Francisco, but really, convince them to help themselves, to use your services, to get better so they can live their dreams kind of thing, right? That's really important. 2 is, while you're doing that, it's really important, like I said earlier, to not go too high. In the beginning, I was just like all of you. I was like, okay, I want to work with entrepreneurs. I want to work with C-level executives. I want to. These people are really, really pressed for time. They're really demanding. They're amazing judges of character. So they're going to know if you're having a bad day or not. But on top of all that, they don't really make these decisions. Like, it doesn't matter if you can convince them because they have a team. You got to go interface with their team, and you got to get the buy-in from the team anyways. So I highly recommend you go after managers, directors, VPs, maybe. It's going to be multiple people that you're going to have to go through to close these sales, unless you're going after small people or small companies. So just keep that in mind. You might have to do a couple buyer personas, but as long as you have that in mind, you'll be able to language it properly. Okay. Email collection.
Good points. Yeah. No, those are just really good points, because it's like, a lot of the times, like you said, people are thinking that by choosing one direction, they're cutting themselves off from a lot of other opportunities. But, you know, like you said, like less is so much more from an efficiency perspective, and also like from a languaging perspective, and like the ability to connect with your target customers. It's just always going to create so much more value. And that's like so key. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not just that, right? It's just cheaper because 1 out of 1,000 CEOs will respond to you.
And that's like so key.
100 out of 200 managers will say, "Hey, yeah, thanks for reaching out. I need help." Right? These people, you know, you're helping them, so it's important to have that. There's 2 tools I recommend for email collection. Right now, I love Lead IQ, and I think I might, by the end of this call, I might have a contact there for you guys to talk to if you guys need help setting up any of your prospecting. The other tool I like to use is seamless.ai. That uses a bunch of machine learning tactics. The reason I like these tools the most is because when you do launch your cold email campaigns, you need verified emails for it to go out to. Otherwise, your domain gets burned and gets put in the spam folder, and then it's just not very good for your business. I mean, the entire point of cold email goes out the window if that happens. So always get verified emails. I know, Matt, you have one that you like. Do you want to mention that one?
Yeah, Snovio is the one that I use. It's really, really great. I think you can get like lead emails for, based on their monthly subscription, which is like $100 or something like that. I think you can get leads for like 12 cents or something. I don't know. But it's a really high quality tool, and it validates your email. So it makes sure you're ready to send.
Perfect. And I think I put that in the resource that I'll give at the end as well. So you guys don't need to take notes or anything about that. The next is content repurposing. If you've done the front end work, then you already have blogs. You already have, if you're a graphic designer, then you already have examples of your content. It's really important for you to repurpose that content when you send these emails out. Most people, when they send these emails, they pitch immediately, and that's not good. I was just talking about earlier about how you don't want to be at the party where the guy's selling you stuff, because that's just not fun, right? You want to be at the party where the guy sits down with you, actually cares about you, finds out what you need, and he's like, "Oh, like I have one of those things. Would you like to try it or look at it or whatever?" You want to have some sort of suaveness around your approach, and so having that content in your back pocket is really, really helpful. So there's a couple tools that I outlined in the resource that I'll give after. One is an automatic ebook generator, so it'll take your articles and turn it into an ebook. So when you do send these cold emails out, you can link there. I think that's the only one I put, but I'm sure I'll keep adding more as we go through the next couple months. So that's collection. Does anyone have any questions on collection as of right now? And if you do, just type in the chat and I'll take a look.
One question is, how do you figure out your niche and personas?
That's a good question. I would always recommend just decide now. It doesn't matter what you decide, and test it. It's never really about finding the best niche. It's just about finding a niche that you're going to make money off of in the beginning, so you can fund your research in the future. This is a constant process throughout the rest of your life. What your niche is, who you're going to serve, this is who you're living for, right? Who you wake up every day to help. And so decide right now, just work. The biggest problem I've seen people do is, again, they get into the thinking process. Well, what niche is better? Well, this might be better, because you just don't know enough about the world. It's not possible. And I'd like for that to be true, but if that were true, then everybody would be millionaires, because we'd all be helping each other all the time. Just pick something and go for it. The only caveat to that is there are certain niches that don't have enough emails out there. And so I would avoid those. I don't, off the top of my head, I can't think of many, but I'm sure they'll come up as we go through these trainings and help people out. Anything else, Matt?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking of weird niches that only have like 100 emails.
I mean, if you're like, I only want flower shops in San Francisco, then I'm sure.
Yeah.
Actually, that's probably be even better because you could just send them value for the next 5 years and like they don't sign up.
Unicorn hoof cleaners, says Aaron.
There we go. All right. So no more questions? I'll keep moving. By the way, I can't see your questions because, oh wait, just kidding. Here we go. Flower shops are pretty good niches. Yeah, I agree. All right, let's move on to automation. So this is what keeps your company moving when you are on vacation or having a bad day or dealing with fires, which we all do in an agency freelancing world. Or want to just focus on service delivery and then realize, oh my God, we lost that client. You'll have something to go back on. You'll have clients, asking you for sales calls. So this is extremely important. So sorry that my screen is all jumbled now, but I'll move this over a little bit. Okay, so 4 steps in automation. I love MVPing things, which means just getting up a system as soon as possible and making it better over time. So just go, if you haven't set up anything yet, just go set up G Suite, go set up Mailshake. G Suite is just Gmail. You want to buy a couple domains. All these resources, again, will be in, all these links to explaining how to do all these things will be in the resource guide at the end. But go sign up for a Gmail account, not your own email. You want to buy 2 emails at least that are similar to yours, because like I said, the second your email gets burned, it messes up. I just had this happen to one of my accounts where my assistant had set up outbound for my personal email domain. And now my contracts and proposals and stuff are going to spam folder, and I'm just losing valuable time going back and forth with clients. Like, hey, did you get this? Did you not get this? So just make sure you buy those 2 domains. Go set up this tool called Mailshake. Again, it's linked in the resource. It's super easy to use. It has a class on helping you out for writing cold emails. It has templates. It's literally you put in your prospects and you type in 4 emails and you hit send, and then it automatically goes out. You use it, it'll tell you when emails come in, and it's just a phenomenal tool. So go for Mailshake. It's like $30 a month. It's totally worth it. Next is warming up those new domains that you bought. Again, you don't want your domains to get spam filtered. And so in the guide that I'm attaching at the end, it has step-by-step directions for after you buy your domain, how to warm it up. And it's really just, sending 5 or 10 emails a day and getting replies for them for like a week or 2, and then you'll be fine. Like, it's not too crazy of a process. Gmail takes really good care of it, but you do want to warm it up. Third is the script and follow-up, what that process exactly is. And last is signature. So kind of went through warming up domains in G Suite and Mailshake. What I do want to focus on is the script and follow-up. You want to, the script is probably the biggest bottleneck that I've seen people go through. They get everything else set up and they're like, I don't know what to say. And you guys mentioned this in the group as well, that you don't want to sound too salesy. That's fair. I've got to preface that with, if you don't want to sound too salesy, it's going to hurt to hear, but you're probably too salesy, because someone that's not salesy wouldn't sound salesy. It's a catch-22 kind of scenario, like a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's okay. I'm here. I'm going to teach you how to not sound salesy. Here's 2 emails. One that I actually got this morning at 7 a.m. and one that works really well and I've seen work for other people. So let's see what this guy said. Apoorva, I set 2,000 plus C-level meetings before writing 2 books on how to, and working with biz dev for blah, 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 blah on Amazon. Already I'm bored. Like, this guy just emailed me out of nowhere and told me about these 2,000 meetings he set. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter at all. I actually didn't even read the rest of the email, and now that I'm reading it, it's not a bad email. He's like, a different focus was mostly a key. Saw your position as president, mention of this, like that is the chunk of the email I actually want to read first. The guy did his research. He knows what we're doing. He has some sort of case study at his website. So don't start with yourself. Again, people that are successful and build amazing businesses aren't in here. They're speaking and talking and getting feedback, but talking about you, right? So the second email, which is a phenomenal email, it's, hey, we're going to 10x your traction in 10 minutes. That's interesting, right? And then you kind of go into, hey, I've thought about your company. You're implying I've thought about your company, and I know how you're going to grow. So I want to help you do that. And I just did this. You throw in a case study there as well. And then lastly, you go into let's schedule a quick 10-minute call. So if you have phenomenal case studies, you can do this, because then you're not salesy. You're on a mission. If you have the best pie in the world and you know it, I don't care if you show up to my house and try to feed me pie. But then there's people that just don't have good pie and are just really bad at being pie connoisseurs. And they're going around saying, hey, dude, you got to try this pie. I'll never trust them ever again. So if you have a good case study, go for the second one. If you don't have a good case study, you got to start conversations. You got to send people content. You got to try to help them out. And that's a little harder. I would recommend, if you are in that place, that you get one free client, you get a case study together, you get something so you can, one, go out with the confidence that you can deliver, but also two, you'll have delivered. So you'll actually have value that you've created and built the best or baked the best pie in the world. You need to have that to not be salesy. If you don't have a good pie, you're salesy. I want good pies. Everybody wants freelancers and agencies to come to them. They just don't want the bad ones. Everybody needs help. Everybody's overwhelmed. Everybody's trying to scale their business. Everybody has these problems every single day, and you're showing up and you're going to be helping them out. But if you feel like, oh no, I'm being too salesy, then you're rewinding and saying something else, right? You're saying, am I good enough to go and be a part of this person or people's lives and interact with them? And am I adding value? Am I making their lives better? That's kind of why you exist, right? You do something well. So you can do it. Just prove it to yourself first if you don't have these case studies. Does that make sense, Matt? Am I overhearing this point?
Yeah, no, definitely a good point. If you can help people, then yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable at first. But that's growth, right? You have to step outside of what you're normally doing and be like, yeah, my shit can help you. And I don't feel bad about letting you in on this opportunity. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a big confidence thing. But it can also give you confidence if you have results and you haven't tried something like this out before. So yeah, great point.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, we all have something we can do, right? Or no one's useless. Everyone has a use and everyone has value they can deliver. And I know you probably, I'm 95% in my head, you've struck that, because otherwise you wouldn't be in business doing it. And so you've got to get over that hurdle in your own head. And again, we'll go over this with replies. I'm going to skip over to the next section, but the mindset portion of this is probably the largest. Okay, so script and follow up. So not only are you going to send an email, you're going to follow up, because you have to assume these people are just too busy to read these emails. I get thousands of emails a week. That email just happened to pop up in my head, and I happened to see it because I'm doing this training today. I was like, oh, what a great example of that. There's other reasons that these things happen, but serendipity will get you there. Luck will get you there if you show up. So keep showing up. No one's going to be upset if you show up and you have value, as long as you don't have that bad pie, right? Lastly is your signature. You want your signature to be really well laid out, but you want your photo in there so it's personal. And then you want a case study or two, a link to a case study or two in your signature. And the reason you do that is not because you want to push your case study. It's really because you want to shorten the email. So that this way the email can be 2 or 3 sentences, and then people go to the bottom. It's a lot easier. People get overwhelmed when emails are longer than 2 or 3 sentences, especially in this day and age. With your face, you really should put your face in there. There was this example of, there was this professor a while ago, I forgot where he was. Matt, have you heard this story? The professor that sent postcards. There's this professor that ran the social experiment. He ran the social experiment, and he was like, you know what? I'm just going to send postcards of my family for holiday or Christmas postcards to 1,000 people and see what happens. So this guy did it for 10 years and they had no response, and was like, all right, whatever, and stopped. And then on the 11th year, he got a postcard. He was like, what? And it was a different family saying, hey, we miss getting your postcards. Like, what's been going on? And he's like, what is going on? And this family happened to live in this area where his daughter was considering going to college. So that he like wrote back and was like, hey, like, yeah, Haley is grown up now, or whatever her name was. And now she's going to college in your area. Like, are there any good places she should stay? And the other family was like, well, she has to stay with us. Like, we've seen her grow up. And this professor's blown away. But of course, now that he's getting their postcard, now he feels close to them too. And so the daughter ends up staying with them. I think she ends up rooming with their daughter as well. And now they're like close friends, all because he sent them a postcard every year for 10 years. Isn't that crazy? I don't even think it was 10 years. I think it was actually like 3 or 5 years. It wasn't like that long. But
Yeah,
you can develop really deep, meaningful, trusting relationships with people that result in phenomenal economic and relational returns just by showing up, even once a year.
right.
It's not hard to do, right? Once a year is totally doable for anybody. But people want to, like, people do business with people they like, right? And the more you're around, the more you get liked.
Yep.
So throw your face in there, change it up once in a while. If people see, oh, now change your haircut, or now you're wearing polo shirts instead of button-ups or whatever. It, for whatever reason, it sticks in people's heads, and you want to be that. You don't want to be an email. You want to be a person behind the email, right? I once got a cold email from a guy like saying, hey, like, reaching out to you from Freedom Tower. I was like, no, you're not. Send me a picture. And the guy sent me a picture of Freedom Tower. And immediately I was like, okay, this is a real person. He's cool. And we started talking and seeing if we could do business together just because of that. It wasn't because of anything special he wrote. It was just the fact that he showed up. So just show up. Lastly is the reply. Before I get into the reply, do we have any questions about those 4 steps? And I'm going to give you guys like a minute or two to think or type it in. Or if you don't want to ask it, I really encourage you to ask it because it'll help someone else in the group.
So one question is, how would you automate something like a music lesson business, one-on-one mentoring service? And also, would a case study on something objective by my students, accomplishments, and growth be a good case study subject? So yeah, I think before you automate anything, just make sure it's working, right? So I would make sure you have a really clearly defined process for the service. And then once that's proven to work and you've perfected it, then you can start automating it by hiring people and using tech. And then for the case study, yeah, I definitely think that would be a perfect case study, right? So if you're offering mentoring services, and show what the benefits and the transformation that your mentorship provides. So that's what I would do.
Make it even easier. Just take a video of your students saying, I love Jonathan. He's so much fun. That's a case study right there. Don't overthink these things. You know what I mean? Like, we think, if it's B2C, it's really easy to get people to start buying. But you got to show up and say, like, I care a lot about people loving music. Like, what's the desired outcome for these people? Do you want these kids or whoever you're teaching to grow up playing that instrument or loving music for the rest of their lives? What are you passionate about? Then have the case study be that. Don't overthink these things, and don't over-engineer. Again, get out in the market. Go talk to people. Go ask people, hey, like, what would I have to show you for you to feel like you want to buy? But literally a video or even a postcard with all your students' pictures on it is a good enough case study. To Aaron, how often do I respond to these emails? More often than I'd like to be honest. But I think these are opportunities. What you guys don't realize or maybe doesn't stick in your guys' heads is people that have money need people to do stuff. Like, I'm constantly looking for people to do stuff for me because I would rather them do it and me have free time to focus on my other company than sit down and actually get things done. So you reaching out and saying, hey, I can do Instagram growth for you is like, hell yeah, like, that's great. I don't have time to sit down and do that. So a lot if it's relevant. And that's the research that you're going to have to do, is how do I make it relevant, or am I just relevant? Or do they have an Instagram page? There's a bunch of different things you can do. Right? I'm an illustrator and animator. I really have no case studies. I might be able to build one or two. So that's actually what Matt told me too. If you have illustrated or animated anything, that's your case study. Your portfolio is your case study, right? So just throw a link to your Dribble page or wherever you host those illustrations or animations. And if you don't host them anywhere, start right now. Go on Dribble, go on Instapage. It takes seconds to upload something, and they'll give you a domain too, and you can link to it. But just make sure your work is out there. Aaron, Loom videos, cold emailing, but actually make a video for business. Yeah, Loom videos are good, but again, you want to MVP this and get out there immediately. Once a year with a postcard work for this guy, right? You don't have to over-engineer these things. Would you recommend using a less formal name to address an email? A less formal name like your own name, or a less formal name like their name? If their name? Yeah, never use Mr. Always use their first name. That's pretty much it. It depends on, if you use Mr., you're assuming you're subservient to them, because then they have to call you Mrs. or Miss to equalize that level. You just want to go for first names. They're all people. They're all someone's dad, uncle, friend. They're just regular people. If you talk to them like regular people, it's better. If you're like, hey, Mister, then it's like you're looking up, and then you've already lost them. They're not going to be able to connect with you. Everybody's lonely at some level or some point of the day. That's what you're getting at, you know? Let's see. Do you guys use ClickFunnels, or is it all based on emails and having call and invoice for work? It depends on what stage you are in your business. If you don't have any sales, then just set something up like a landing page and go for it. Your website does not matter. All that matters is you, because if you can deliver the service, then you win. Get into ClickFunnels once you have probably like, $5,000 to $10,000 a month. But even then, I don't think it matters that much. Okay, what I'm asking essential what the funnel is, and very respectable. I can appreciate that. Yeah. So the funnel I'll get to after this, because I want to make sure you guys get that properly. Okay. Anything else? Molly, did that make sense? You guys are amazing for showing up at noon or 2 or 3 or 6 or whatever time it is where you're at. Cool. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, Jonathan, you're just going to start building these things, and you're going to see if it works, and you're going to change it. But you're going to probably do this for the next, whatever years. So it's much better to get out there and have something than spend too much time doing it. Perfect. In the meantime, just get a picture of them and ask them if they could use it. Just get something that you can start sending out. Cool. Let's go to the next one. The reply. Okay, guys, this is the most important part of anything, because as freelancers or agency owners, we get very disillusioned in what reality in the future can be. And the second you get less and less emails or calls, you start doubting yourself and doubting other people and doubting. But that's kind of why I really like the concept of empires that Matt's built, because when you have that community around you, and if you're a stick and you're on fire, then it's like good, but you can burn out. But if you're in a pile of sticks, if you burn out, someone else is gonna light your fire up, and you're gonna keep going. So I really like that. Just get in the right headspace. Okay, being really salesy can be a problem, but you gotta follow what Dan Kennedy says. If you haven't offended somebody by noon each day, then you're not marketing hard enough. You have to go out there and be ready to not piss people off, but get in people's way, get in people's faces, because you're ultimately going to change their lives. If what you have to offer works, you're changing their lives. So you got to get out there. And a lot of these people that I'm talking to are also disillusioned. Just like you get disillusioned about if they have money, they get disillusioned about if you can help them. But you can help them, because that's what you do for a living. So you got to go out there, and you got to be okay with doing this. Okay, one thing I loved that I saw Gebbia, I think that's his name. He's the co-founder of Airbnb. When he started his first business, which was like selling seat cushions or something. I think it was selling seat cushions. He went to a sales class and learned this equation for sales success. And it was SW squared plus WC equals MO. Some will like what you're selling, some won't. Who cares? Move on. It doesn't matter. There's so many people in the world. There's so many things to do. There's so many people that need what you do. There's people that are going to say no, just by definition, because they don't need it. It's okay. Don't take it personally. Sometimes people are mean. They're just having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month or a bad year, but they don't mean anything against you. It's fine. Who cares? Move on. This is really important, because there's times where I've even had leads just sitting in my inbox, and I'll just be sitting there like looking at their websites, like, oh, they might not even buy. Like, why do I need to reach out to them? And it's tough because with success comes more work. And so we kind of pull ourselves back from success again and again. And again, that's why I love Empires. That's why I love what Matt's doing. He's really helping people automate stuff for businesses. So that way they're pulled towards success and they're excited about success. But there's 3 steps in that success. And it's a big mindset thing. 1 is you got to be positive no matter what. 2 is you got to be polite. And 3 is you got to be persistent and decide if you want to partner with people or not, or build a movement. Okay, the reason for these 3 things is you just need one big sale to win for the rest of your life. You don't need tens or hundreds or thousands of sales. You just need one. And that's either the first one that you get that builds your momentum to build your business, or it's that big contract. But if you keep showing up, people will take a chance on you. People will give you an at-bat. I've never not had the chance at bat when I was really young, to when I was successful, to when my 3D printing company didn't do well, to being a VC. Everybody is trying to give you a shot because they were where you were at one point. No one wasn't where you were, right? So you got to be positive. There's people out there that want to help. There are. And so you have to be like, okay, every single email that comes in, every single person that responds to you, every single thing that happens, it has to be good. I've seen people get the gig and they convince themselves out of it. I've seen people get emails saying, hey, we don't usually take people, but yeah, we're willing to take you. So just like talk to these people, and they'll say, oh, they don't usually take people, so they're not going to hire me. But it's been insane. But the actual reality is the guy's actually saying the exact opposite. So always assume that the person's a nice person on the other end and that they want to give you a job. Because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to read their tone, their inflection, what kind of language patterns they're using, why they're using certain language patterns, if they're testing you or not, through just reading an email. It's just not possible. Even the best people in the world have no idea, because you can't know how everybody thinks. It's not possible. So always assume people are too busy to respond. Something happened. They didn't get your email. It went to the spam folder. There's a lot of different reasons they don't respond. There's a lot of different reasons they respond a certain way. Just assume it's always good and you're going to get the job. And you'll be more excited about, doing the response as well. 2 is be polite. So I once hired a British firm to do my cold email for me. And they got so many responses because they were just like, hey, I would like to see if you would be available for a call at 2 p.m. on Friday, if that doesn't work. And they just phrased it so, I don't want to say Britishly, but with that British gentlemanly charm, that everybody was like, yeah, like I don't mind talking to this obscenely polite person. Like there's no harm that would come out of it. It'll, at the worst, be a conversation with a British person that can tell everybody about it, right? You want to have that benefit of the doubt on your side. You don't want to get obviously mean and annoying and all these things like, oh, I can't believe you didn't respond. You don't want to have that kind of mindset. And that goes back to the first one. Everybody in the world wants to help you out, right? Be positive no matter what. Everybody wants to help other people. There's no one out there saying, oh, I hate people. Like even like psychopaths like help people. Like it's just not possible for that not to happen. So just have that attitude. Lastly is be persistent. Just keep following up. Like I mentioned, I don't know where I mentioned it, but I've met people that have been emailed for 2 or 3 years on end, and they've bought stuff from people. I've met people that have been emailed to come on and get interviewed for 2 or 3 years at the end, and they realize, oh, this person's not going to stop. I might as well. And you being on the good, that's a good way to, great way to build your business, but you'll get sales that way, and you'll be able to help them because a lot of people don't want to help themselves. So it's really important to be persistent. The other reason to be important, the other reason it's important to be persistent is because a lot of these people will partner with you. You don't necessarily need to sell to everybody. You just need someone else that already has a following, or someone else that already has clients that they can plug you into to help you out. And a lot of the times, either they'll have it, or they've used someone in the past they can connect you with, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The best entrepreneurs in the world don't go, oh no, like that's my competition. They go, oh, how can we help each other? How can we split the market? They're probably niching down. I'm niching down this way. We're not overlapping at all. We're just offering the same services, but we want different desired outcomes, et cetera, et cetera. You got to get yourself in that good mental state. That's how you win. And that's how you build a movement. And how you build a movement is how you actually build a business. Sales is the first part, guys. Recruiting, retaining talent is the hardest part of building any business. Getting amazing people in the door and getting them to stay, that's your leverage, right? That's how you become a badass. That's how you become a king. A king is known by his soldiers and his generals and his advisors. You need those people. And unless you're doing something consistently and have a positive attitude and believe that there's a better world, a better future out there, you're not going to be able to be who you truly are. Does that make sense? Like, don't convince yourself that you're not that guy, because you are. Like, you're going to kick ass. You just need to see it. And it's okay, because most people have glasses on that like aren't really well adjusted. But guys, I have perfect glasses, and the world's really pretty, and it's bright, and it's amazing. You can build this business. I see it in the future. So look forward to it. But be positive, no matter what happens. Okay, I think there's 3 different buckets that you need to be able to put people in. And the reason people don't stay positive is because they don't know where people lie. And so obviously, as freelancers and agency owners, you want people that are on the left bucket, the people that need it now, they're in pain, they need something to fix something, right? But that's not necessarily always true. These people, even though they're in pain, because of the pain, they're not thinking clearly. So they think they need it, but they don't really know. They're like, oh, life would be good with a new logo, or life would be good with a marketing campaign. But like, would it really be good with a good marketing campaign? They're just like us, right? So you need to kind of push them, that group of people, into the need it now. The numbers work out to like 3% of the people that you're going to email actually need it now. And then like 1% of them, or X% of them, will close, depending on how painful your the problem you're solving is. So for example, getting people more business is really easy. It's really painful for a lot of people, so they sign up really fast. But if you're like building websites or designing, landing pages, then or just doing creative work, then people think they need it, they don't really know they need it, and you need to find a different kind of approach to that. Lastly is people that don't know they need it. Don't go after these people. This is why I want you to stay positive. Most people don't know what they need, and they're just kind of build this business. They're kind of selling stuff, and they're like wandering around, and either they won't be around a long time, or they're going to eventually learn what they actually need, and then you can actually sell them. So you can't take things personally when people are kind of going through their own journeys, that's just where they are. But you should be able to put these people in different buckets. Based on what bucket they're in, you should be able to follow up with them. So if they need it now, throw them in the funnel, and we'll go over the funnel. If they think they need it, you're going to have to send content. You're going to have to, coach them. You're going to have to walk them through stuff. If they don't know they need it, I would stay away for now. Eventually, when you're at 7, 8 figures and build some sort of educational process around how to teach these people that they need it, that's how you're going to grow. But that's a problem that's so far away. Call me if you do get there. I'll help you. You can hire people to do that too. But don't worry about those people. You don't want to be around people that don't know they need you, especially after they pay you. Especially after they pay you, because then it's not fun. All right. Questions about the reply process? What are you guys thinking? I'm glad, Jonathan, Jonathan said it seriously.
Yeah.
So more than any webinar. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't, we're not even doing this as a webinar. We really want to help you guys out. Like, this is really important to us.
Yeah, there you go. It's a train.
Jonathan, I hated college. I hated school because people were just talking to me all the time. So I never want to be doing that. And I apologize that we're going through chunk by chunk. But I'm glad it's helping.
Yeah, great to hear.
How long do you want to wait until you reach out to people? So there's certain drips you can try. Do a week and then 11 days and then 14 days. So send an email, wait a week, send an email, wait 11 days, send an email, wait 14 days, send an email, and just keep going. If you know they're in pain, like for example, one program I run is when people get in the news, I know how to use that to get them more leads. And so when they're just in the news, I follow up a lot. I'm like, hey guys, no, you got to get on this. You got to jump on this because otherwise you're going to lose this momentum. And you're not going to get clients through the PR, even though people think, oh, we're in the news, so we're going to get clients. But like you have to build a funnel. So it depends on where you are. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Diacre? I'm going to wait. I guess you can't even pronounce your name over text. Well, I apologize.
You can spell it out. Diacre.
Diacre.
There we go. Boom.
Diacre, what industry are you in? What's your product? Sorry, everyone. Just started a digital marketing agency. Okay, well then, if you're doing digital marketing, it's really important to show people that you have class because you're going to be representing them. So I can understand why being salesy is scary. If you have content already built up, send to them once a week. It depends. Again, it depends on what bucket they're in, right? So if they don't know they need it, every 2 weeks, just send them an article. It doesn't matter. If they think they need it, send them an article once a week on, what you do, what you believe. Doesn't matter what it is. Just say hi, have your face change, et cetera, et cetera. If they need it now, go ahead and follow up, 2, 3, 4 days. Because they need it now. Like you want to help them grow their business. Now, it's up to you to be responsible enough to know which bucket they're in and learn how to figure that out. And I would probably just interview people that are in your niche and pick a niche, most importantly. But yeah, that's something that you'll have to figure out as you go. Just use the original template I told you, 7, 11, 14, and then just keep cycling on 14. And then you'll kind of learn how to do it from there on. Just set something up right now. Don't worry about the mechanics too much. Just get it set up. How do I feel about Facebook ads versus email for getting your first clients? Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, you're B2C, so it's a little different for you. It'll be a lot cheaper. For us B2B guys, it's a little more expensive. I would still use email. It's a lot more personal. You can go one-on-one. For your first 1 to 3 clients, I would use email and look for groups. Look for music groups in your area. Look for local music groups. Because if you don't get who you're going after, you'll get someone who has a son or a cousin or a nephew or whatever that is into music. So you want to start networking around. If you know how to do it on Facebook, that's fine. It's just it's expensive when you mess up, and there's a lot of trial and error. It's hard to scale unless you know what you're doing. You need to know how to copyright properly. You need to know how to use Facebook as a native ad platform. There's a lot of different pieces. I wouldn't recommend you play with that and burn your money until you have enough money to spend from this business to reinvest. All right, any more questions?
Yeah, it's good stuff. Really helpful. And yeah, and Aport is helping me with our agency's cold emails. I mean, we went from just like never being able to get in touch with anybody to like getting replies. And, you know, we haven't figured it out yet, but I mean, this is all gold, and it works, you know, like even in just a few weeks, you can start to see results. And sometimes even just one reply, like when we got our first reply, I was like, oh my God, it's working. But you know, that's just momentum, right? You keep at it, you keep persistent, and it's going to work. You know, it's just a matter of focus and optimizing and knowing it's going to happen for you too. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so you're like a month and a half in, right? So it'll take a little longer for you to, you know, get fully ramped and actually get people in. I mean, the sales cycle is like 3 to 6 months, to be honest, for any B2B company like yours. Other sites I would recommend, Jonathan, why don't you DM me after this and I can help you find it. But a lot of that will be around buyer persona. I hope everybody else is paying attention. Jonathan's asking if there's sites that I recommend for based on demographics, like people who are drummers. Once you do your buyer persona, you'll be able to know exactly where your people hang out, whether it's a certain coffee shop or a certain type of bar or a certain group online or forums. Where they are is really important, and that'll help you kind of go through it. Cool. So these are the 3 steps: collect, automate, reply. Please feel free to throw any questions in. The biggest bottlenecks that I see are the following: targeting, like Jonathan's saying; prospecting, actually getting those emails. People slow down and like don't do it or don't hire a VA to do it. Patience, guys. You're building a business. It's going to take years to become something significant. And you probably have your eyes set on like 5K or 10K a month. That's just having a job. Like, you want to build a business, a machine that makes you money. It's going to take time. You got to change your mindset. You got to be patient. You got to be patient. Years. But you're going to do it no matter what. Because if I say, hey, you're going to build $100,000 a month agency in a year, you're going to freak out, stop from doing stuff. But if I say, dude, you're going to make it no matter what in 10 years. I can guarantee you can make it no matter what in 10 years. No matter what. So 10K a month client a year. Bam, you're there. So patience, guys. Patience, you're going to make it with patience. Now, all of us want to speed things up. I'm the same way. I go out and rally and rage and try to do as much as I can in a day. But you don't always get there that much faster. So just be patient. Just have the baseline be, okay, I'm going to get there. And everything else will kind of fall in place. And then you can have fun with going faster or slower. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Follow-up reply is a huge bottleneck. Stay in that mindset. You got to be willing to go after everything. You got to get hungry. Every single person is a possible win for you. Every single person is someone you can help. So that's really a big bottleneck too. Mindset, massive. I don't know where or how to get people better mindsets all the time, except for joining empires. There's probably coaching that's out there. I just haven't seen coaches that are better than the business owners that they're coaching that often. And if they are, then they become like these celebrity coaches, and it's just a whole thing. Joining a group is probably the best for keeping your mindset good. Copywriting is really interesting. It's a process. You want to set something up immediately, but it's going to kind of take some time to build up. Service delivery confidence is something that people kind of feel inside. Like, even though they can deliver, they feel like frauds. And this happens to people even like Anthony Hopkins to this day. Like, people, phenomenal artists, phenomenal creators, phenomenal business builders, feel like they're not enough. And that's something that either you just accept that you're thinking that, or you overcome that with some mindset training. 8, names is a huge bottleneck. I used to cold email all the time with my name, Apoorva, and it doesn't fly as well as it could in America. Internationally, it's fine. In America, people have just been hit up so much by these Indian SEO companies from like wherever in India that they kind of get burned. So you want to use some sort of name that's similar to the people that you're going out to. I had just hired a guy named Jason, and Jason was getting responses like crazy. So don't let that hold you back. Again, don't take things personally. Like, you have no idea what's holding people back from responding to you. Lastly is the best chess players in the world learn how to play chess backwards. So they learn how to play with this graphic right here. It's just a king and a pawn versus a king and two pawns. And the thought process behind this, and the reason it works, is if you're going into uncomfortable territory, you're less likely to get yourself there, and you'll self-sabotage to keep yourself out of there. So the more you play chess, the less you've practiced moves that are at the end, if you're an amateur or just a regular player. So that way, when you do get to this point, like I've played so many chess games in my lives, I have no idea how to win. I've never practiced it. And that was a huge bottleneck for me. And so the allegory here is have your proposals already written, have your invoices already written, have some sort of template process, have them auto-sending, have the reminders auto-send, have all of that set up. So when you do make the sale and someone's like, yeah, send me a proposal, you don't drop the ball on the 5-yard line or kick the ball into the stands or whatever sports metaphor I can use, miss the pop fly because you're thinking about throwing. Get those proposals and invoices set up and templatized. It's insanely important. So there's two ways you're going to kill it at this. One is you got to be able to crack the safe. The safe is the combination of words and letters and images and case studies and follow-up sequences and interactions and sales conversations that go together to get you to your goal, which is probably 7 figures, 6 figures, what have you. So either you become a safe cracker or you get someone that can crack a safe. If you've ever seen Italian Job, I don't think Mark Wahlberg could have cracked that safe himself, so he had to get, I'm totally blanking on her name, but if you haven't seen Italian Job, go watch Italian Job. To crack open the safe, you need a safe cracker. There's people out there that do it for a living. You don't have to do everything by yourself. You've got to start letting things go. And so me and Matt, because we know a lot of people watch trainings, we kind of got together and we're like, okay, people watch trainings, but they don't really do anything. How do we pull people to success? How do we make sure that, we're all on the same boat and that we all get there? And we're like, well, we don't want to help. How do we do it? And so we kind of sat down and said, are people going to go in and implement these things themselves? And I think a lot of you will. I also think some of you have convinced yourself that you can yourself and it's going to be really easy, which if you MVP it is, or you just won't do it because you're disillusioned or you don't really know how to set things up and you need a safe cracker. So what we did is we took our own safe crackers and we've put them together as a package for you guys. And we want to make sure you guys have access to that, our own resources. So there's an application process around it. We want to make sure it's very exclusive. These are our people. We want to make sure anyone coming in is respectful and understanding, and has a positive attitude. And so what we'll do is we'll link a way to reserve that. And you won't have to go through the entire application process now. Just put your email in there. If you don't have the money right now, it's fine. Just put your email in there, reserve it, and we can figure out, okay, how can you get the money? Can you make enough money to actually set up this process for us to set up this process for you, or some sort of payment plan that we can set up for you. So we'll link that in the comments. Actually, Matt, would you mind just linking that in both the chat and the Facebook Live?
Yes. 1 second.
Thanks.
Here.
Okay. If you are at a level where you're like, I don't know if this works, this is literally my inbox for a cold email campaign I ran 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And within 60 days, because it was Jason and not a Porter reaching out, we had, I think, over 48 leads, hot leads coming in of people saying, yeah, sure, call me at this time. And excited, and it works really well. I remember one of my business partners at both Awesome and SPI, the two companies I mentioned at the beginning, the 6 and 7 figure companies. This guy, Chris Strachan, this guy raised over $30 million before he was 30. Sold his company to Documentum or EMC. I don't know if they merged before. Ended up doing $140 million in revenue that year. Came to us, and in his free time, he would just sit down and just cold email people for fun. Because he was like, who knows what's going to happen? He would get spam email. He would get like notifications. Any email that would come in, he'd just sit down and respond. And be like, hey, let's see if we can do business together. It's really interesting to see him. I mean, now he's got this great company called SBGA, Silicon Valley Growth Agents. through cold email. Again, just reaching out saying, hey, do you need any help doing any of these things? This is what we do. This is how we do it. And it's grown amazingly. I reached out to my other buddy, Ben, yesterday, and he's built, I mean, his business is in the millions. And I just asked him, hey, I'm doing live training for cold email tomorrow. Could I mention it as someone who's killing it? And he goes, yeah, basically I cold called and we bought a list and did webinars. And this client with $86 million in funding reached out to him without ever talking to him, without ever getting on any webinars that they sent out. They just showed up and asked to buy his products, which are like, 10 or 20,000 a month, just because he was reaching out to them. It wasn't because of anything he was doing. So all of you guys that are sitting there and saying, oh, I need to make sure my case studies are perfect, or I need to make sure my articles are perfect. It doesn't matter. These guys, this $86 million client, this is basically almost a unicorn now, which means $1 billion valuation, signed up just because he was emailing them. And so I was like, yeah, let me screenshot this conversation and let me throw it in my deck. And he said, go for it. It's for real. We signed a division at Cisco, $1 billion company, the exact same way. And now we work with like Cisco. Like he works with the entire $1 billion organization through cold email. And a lot of people didn't even open his stuff. Like, guys, you just got to show up. It's not that hard. Just show up. So this is a link that I'm going to copy paste into chat right now. And then I'll have Matt copy paste in the Facebook Live. And it's a bunch of resources for you guys that want to do it yourself or try it yourself. It's a lot of links to, exactly the steps we talked about: collection, automation, and replying. The most important thing in there, even though everything is tactics, the most important thing I think is a link to Headspace, which is a meditation app. They have this Take 10 program, just meditate 10 days in a row. A lot of the things you're going to try to think through and try to force yourself to be positive, your brain can kind of settle on its own. And going through this Australian guy's training 10 minutes a day will change the way you approach life. Will make you hungry again. We'll make sure that you actually outsource the things you need to outsource and don't think that you can do the things that you can't do. Matt, did you put the reserve link? Awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I got it set up. And yeah, this is awesome.
Nice. Okay. So even if you're worried or trying to figure things out, Jonathan, that's fine. Just put the email in the chat and I'll add it in. Go there, sign up, reserve it. You don't have to buy. You can make a decision later. We don't care. We're here to help you. Just I really want you guys to have access to this because we're only going to take, I think we said 15, Matt, total. And we already have like
15 for the beta. Yeah.
We already have like 6 or 7 people signed up.
Right.
And so, because we're going to get overwhelmed, or our team's going to get overwhelmed if we take too many. But go in there, sign up. It's a waiting list process. I think there's probably like 70 people on there right now. And if you share it with your other people that are freelancers, people that would want to help, have them sign up, and then you'll kind of go up the list. And based on where you are on the list, you'll get accepted in the program. Aaron, go ahead, man. Share it. Get out there. Get it out to people that you think can help. That we really want to make sure all you guys that are freelancers and agencies are extremely successful in the coming years. And so that's what it's built for. Let's see.
Yeah, and so also, guys, for your own launches and landing pages and sign up pages that you can probably integrate with these email type funnels that we're kind of walking you through. You can use kickoff pages, which is the page that we use for this waitlist software. But yeah, if you guys could go and share that out, that will really help us out, and it will also help you out and help us reach more freelancers. And it'll help you out by getting you higher up on the list so we can figure out next steps from there. But yeah, it's a really nice tool and software. Like Apoorva set up the page in a few minutes,
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me reiterate what we're actually saying. We're saying we're going to help you. So we're going to have people that are collecting the emails for you, writing the scripts, warming up your domains and buying domains if you need them, sending the emails out. All you will have to do out of these 3 steps is the reply step, is get your head straight and make sure that you can respond on all these emails coming in, and you can get their business and you can make their businesses better. Now, I want you guys to reach in and grab this sword grab the sword, become the king. Cold email is the way you're going to kill it in the next 10 years. It sounds crazy. People out there say, oh my God, cold email's dead. It's so annoying. But when it's relevant, people have gone on calls with me and said, oh my God, the universe is speaking to me. Literally, I've been looking for this and you showed up and I'm so happy I'm on this call. There's people out there waiting for you to reach out to them so you can help them. And they have no idea what to do. And this is how you get there. This is how you build your business. This is how you show up every day. This is how you get yourself out of your own head and get out in the market. So guys, set it up. It's not even, it's a no-brainer for me. Set it up. You have to set it up. And if you can't set it up, if you're like me, I'm very I don't like getting in the nitty-gritty. Use our system. Use the system we put together. Don't let yourself get in your own way. This is really important. This is not something that you want to just lay by the wayside. Have your business have a way to scale automatically without you having to worry about it. Matt, anything else that you wanted to? Oh, if you do get in and you do really well and sell products, then I think Matt has like an exclusive offer where you can actually join Empires and become this part of our exclusive group, or Matt's exclusive group of phenomenal entrepreneurs and agency owners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you'll get access to our new membership, Empires, which we'll be releasing to the public or for a beta soon enough. But right now we're just getting some founding members in there. Guys that inner circle people that we want to work with, and that will get access to like future mastermind events and that sort of thing. So yeah, if you what did we say? If you break 20K using the service, then we'll fly you out to Colombia for the next mastermind. I think that was along the lines of what we were going to put up, and we'll do an interview with you and feature you and all that good stuff. So yeah, and we're looking at October for the mastermind, which I'm really excited about, and I have to finally get that content out. But yeah, going back to the cold email and stuff, it's like, it's not a matter of if it works, it's just a matter of when. And it's going to take 2 to 3 months to optimize and get it cruising. But once that's done, and once you screw up and you make mistakes, once that's done, you have a channel that you can grow your business with. So it's really important that you get that set up, so that you have that predictability and that peace of mind to know that if you need to go out and get work, you can. And that's, having that is essential to really building a scalable agency and business.
Yeah. Aaron asked how much it is. So Aaron, we sat down and talked, and we're like, how do we want to, set this up? The way we did it is we actually just stripped it down to costs, and we're literally offering part of our group to you guys. And we're just going to do all the costs as passed through. So it's about $1,000 for the project manager, the copywriter, the designer, the implementation people. $1,000 a month, 3 months minimum commitment, because it takes up to 3 months for it to work, like really well for most people. But I mean, it'll kill it. The way you got to think about it is that $1,000 a month going to make you more than $1,000 a month? If your offer is less than $1,000 a month, then maybe we got to sit down and make your business better. But if it's not, then you're going to kill it. Aaron, I'm so glad. I'm looking forward to bring you through the application process. Like I said, it's exclusive, but I mean, we've done this in the past. I know your product's phenomenal. So yeah, let's get going.
Aaron's
cool. Well, do you guys have any more questions? We're here. I'm here for another 8 minutes. So let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you guys are wondering anything. Please ask. This is going to go in the Facebook group later, so anything you ask, I want to be able to deliver more value.
Yeah.
The stuff in there.
Yeah, and yeah, just holla. Any questions?
While we wait, I think Karthikeya asked me something.
Karthikeya? Thank you, Molly, for showing up. It's great to have you in here. I believe that's
Yeah. Okay,
Molly.
so let's take a little survey. What do you guys think? Do you think cold email works at this point? And put a 1 if you think it works, put a 2 if you're still skeptical. And it's fine to be in both categories. Right, no judgment.
What's the 1 for?
1 is it works. 2 is it as you're still
Okay.
skeptical.
Got it. I believe that's Molly. Awesome.
Okay, we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Not too bad. Okay, we got, let's see, 7, 8 other people in the group. 7 other people. Hey guys there, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it works? Herman? Jonathan? You can say no. You guys probably cost something like drum lessons. Jonathan DM me, but it's the same problem I mentioned in the beginning. It's if you're in your head or if you're in the market. That's what matters. You're never going to be sure how to convince anyone. You gotta just talk to people.
Right. Yeah, and also pick people you enjoy working with, right? Like that's why we're in business, right? To work with people we want to work with and enjoy ourselves, right?
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys agree. I don't want to put pressure on you. Is there anyone in there that doesn't agree that cold email works and that cold email will work for them? I guess that's really important.
Yeah, and if you guys have any specific questions, just post them in the group, of course, and we're going to continue to answer your questions even after the training's over, after this video is done, because we want to just help you out with training and all that. So, like I said, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, because this stuff works. It's just about finding the right code to crack, right, and just using the right messaging with the right offer, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, Molly says, I think it works, but definitely mutes your spirits a bit. It's hard to get past so many rejections and continue that one. That will be the working one and opening the doors to the others. Yeah, well, Molly, I've been there. I get it. It sucks when people say no because you put so much time into what you're doing. But that I realized a long time ago that was a focus on myself. When it was more about who I was helping, it changed the way I approach things. So I'm not sitting here. The second I stopped saying, hey, how can I get this company to buy my service? And I started saying, hey, how can I make sure that George at X company is able to keep his job and get a promotion, take care of his kids and family because his business did better, because I was involved. The no's kind of melt away. A lot of people stop themselves from helping themselves. And so any frustration or muting of spirits, it usually comes from a lack of skill. And you've got to be able to grow into that person to have that skill and to help these people. Because that's what we're on this, right? Agency is really important. It's a really interesting word. Matt, do you know what agency means?
Probably not your definition that you're going to share.
Yeah. So most people, like all my life, I thought agency was like, oh, you can build this big thing that gets people business and really exciting. And agency is actually, when people have agency, when an individual has agency, it's their ability to consciously make decisions, to not be wandering around like zombies, or we're not workers. We're built our own businesses. We decided no, we can handle our own destiny. And so being able to not only be an agency, but embody that and go out and help people and convince them that no, what you have is what they need and their lives are going to get better. And for them to make that conscious decision, it's important. There's no physical value of anything, right, Jonathan? Everything is transformative. Everything. Molly, all agencies are art sales. selling a website or a landing page or a advertising campaign. It's all hard sales. People need art. It's important. The greatest economic expansions in the world happened after the greatest artistic expansions, right? Like, these things are extremely important, but you've got to be able to convince people that. You got to believe that to be able to convince people that. Thanks, Mario. Thanks, Herman. I appreciate you guys saying goodbye. All right. Yeah. Does that make sense, Molly? Have you ever been to someone's house that has no art in it?
So sad.
You have no art in your house. Molly, you got to put art up. You're rejecting yourself right now. It's really important to eat your own dog food. And what that means, it's a Silicon Valley term, I think. What that means is you got to buy your own products. Like, I would never be doing this webinar if I didn't do cold email. Like, it's just one, I can figure out bottlenecks and help me out from the mindset of being there, right? But also, like, if I don't use it, why would anyone else use it? And that's when you get into, well, maybe I'm being salesy. Put some art up, Molly. Put some art up. That's like the first one. Yeah. Cool, guys. Well, yeah. So, just tag me in the group. I'm busy, but I'll make time for it. I'll have Matt ping me whenever. I'll try to get to you guys in a timely manner. I know if you don't have the money or if you don't know if it works, just go ahead and reserve. Go and get on the waiting list. You can figure everything else out later. You can get the motivation to get things to build your business later. And off you run, guys. Thank you so much. I'll connect with you guys later. All the links should be in the chat, and we'll be on the Facebook group later, and we'll cut this up and send stuff out. And if anyone wants the deck, just tag me on in the group, and I'll take care of it.
Yeah, and add it to the resources list and like a slides or something, right?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Sweet, guys. Well, like Apoorva said, thank you guys so much for checking out the training. Go ahead and reserve a spot if you're considering cold email, getting help with that. And, we're excited. We're excited to help you guys out with this through the group and through content and for those of you that decide to join us. Thank you guys so much for your time. And I hope that you all enjoy your Fridays, and we will all talk with you very soon. All right. Thank you, guys.